I'm here with Mark Shorrock on the Stonyfold farm in the Forest of Bowland. Good morning, Mark.
Morning.
Could you give me a little bit of history on the farm, please, when you first started farming?
Yeah, we came here in 1998. It was a greenfield site, and we amalgamated a number of blocks of land over the years to form Stonyfold Farm. And when we came, we had no buildings, we had no house. We put the buildings up, built the house, and then we concentrated on the farmland. And then over a period of time, we've got what we've got today, 110 acres on the side of Beacon Fell, which is on the edge of the Forest of Bowland, up here in Lancashire. We're about 500 foot above sea level. The highest field's about 700. So we're in a high rainfall area, and it's a mainly grassland farm, and we keep cattle and sheep. And alongside that, we run the Higher Level Stewardship, which followed Countryside Stewardship, which we did previous to that, a 10-year scheme.
Could you give me a little bit of information on that, please?
Yeah, the Countryside Stewardship, I think we started in the early 2000s, and we planted probably about 4 kilometres of new hedgerow, which you can see around the farm. That's all mature now. Among that, we created the wildlife corridors, and about 2 acres approximately, if it was all added up together, of sort of natural areas that don't get really grazed hard by the cattle or sheep, and they've run wild. And we've also got, as part of the Countryside Stewardship Scheme, we sort of developed a farm, and the results have been tremendous that have come from that. But we're still getting results from Countryside Stewardship, even though we've finished that in 2012, I think it was. It was a natural progression to go into Higher Level Stewardship, and we're now sort of 2 years. In 2 years' time, we'll finish that. But within that Higher Level Stewardship, we've got all sorts of land management options. We have some areas that flood in winter to attract wading birds, hopefully to nest in spring. We're still managing all the wildlife corridors among that, and the grazing options hopefully encourage the wildlife to use the fields as nesting sites as well.
So what kind of birds are you getting?
We get all sorts on this farm. If we start with the Countryside Stewardship with the hedgerows and etc. has attracted an unbelievable amount of small finches, long-tailed tits, goldfinches, bullfinches, green finches. We've seen the yellow hammers very occasionally, and I mean very occasionally. But as far as the Higher Level Stewardship, that is there to encourage things like Lapwing, Curlew, Redshank, Oystercatcher, all of which we've had, be successful in nesting, but we're not really attracting the numbers I thought we might attract. And why that is, I'm not sure, but the whole country's in decline for these birds. But after saying that, I see areas where they are, the population is very, very good.
And of course, this morning you saw something quite unique as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Just coming down here to the classroom, I spotted a peregrine falcon on the side of the track. Just obviously caught a pigeon. He's having his breakfast this morning, and I've been past him 3 times in the last 10-15 minutes, and each time he's stood his ground, he's never moved. I've been within a metre of him with a Land Rover. So he's obviously hungry, but it's good to see. Yeah, I do enjoy seeing these birds, and we have a big wooded area next to the farm, which gives good shelter for these birds of prey, and for all the little birds as well. When the weather's a bit inclement, they go and hide in there. Come out in summer, come out in the daytime, and and go back there at night to roost.
And also on the H.L.S. scheme, you've got this classroom, haven't you, for bringing pupils in?
We have, yes. This classroom was funded by Higher Level Stewardship. Initially, we tried to get it on the Countryside Stewardship to retain a natural, traditional barn within the rural landscape, but because we were coming to the end of the scheme, they turned it down. But when we came into Higher Level Stewardship, they said they would fund the building so long as we gave educational access, which was fair enough. So they funded, or part funded, the construction and the renovation of this building, and we have school visits youth visits, introduce them to the countryside where the food comes from, some of this wildlife that you see behind me, show them what lives out here as well as us and as well as the animals. Yeah, they enjoy it and I enjoy doing it. It's tiring, but I enjoy doing it.
Just getting back to the farm, how many cattle and sheep do you have on the farm?
Well, for a number of years we've run not big cattle, we've run small calves and stirks and rearing cattle for beef, that would ultimately go for production of beef. We've carried sheep, we've lambed about 120 this year, and there's been about another 120, 130 on the farm. This year, numbers of cattle, we've had up to 100 head of cattle, but this year we've upped the sheep numbers and dropped the cattle numbers a little bit. We've probably got about 40, 45 head of cattle on at the moment, that's all. But it's a mainly grassland farm. It's not, with being in higher level, we can't be intensive because that's part of the restrictions of higher level. We're more extensive than intensive.
And what do you see the future for the farm?
The future for the farm, that's a difficult one. With it being only a small farm, I go out contracting to local farmers, and we do fertiliser spreading, lime spreading, and one or two other bits of things. If I wasn't doing that, we would struggle to make the farm pay. We would need a lot of extra rented land, really, to make it pay. Yeah, the higher level stewardship rewards us for land management, but it doesn't make up for the loss of income because of the number of cattle or sheep that you can't keep, if that makes sense. It doesn't. It's supposed to make up for it, but it doesn't. So it's been a bit of a labour of love, but I've enjoyed doing it, and I've enjoyed putting all the boundaries back on the farm, all the hedgerows, and seeing all the wildlife that's come with it. And I'm sure that higher level stewardship, the rewards from that will come in years to come, just as they have done with the countryside stewardship. You know, that finished a number of years ago, but we're still seeing the rewards for that, and will do for many, many years, probably long after I've gone.
Well, thanks very much for the interview, Mark, and I hope the farm goes from strength to strength and more wild birds come to the farm. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.